I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse.
Oh, I liked him.
Will Smith has been hiding the fact of who he really is, and it was exposed that night.
A federal agent who helped plan last year's raid on Diddy's Miami mansion was back on the stand today. He testified that about 80 to 90 officers were involved.
The Diddy trial has been dominating headlines for weeks now. Every day brings new revelation, new testimonies, and new evidence that paints a picture of a man who allegedly built an empire on control, manipulation, and fear. But as the walls close in on Sean Combs, something else is happening. Names are being whispered, connections are being made, and celebrities who thought they were safe from the chaos are suddenly finding themselves in the crosshairs. And one name that keeps coming up? Will Smith.
But I haven't addressed any of this publicly, but I just want to say this very clearly. I don't have to do with Puffy, so y'all can stop all their meetings. I can stop all of that. I ain't been nowhere near no damn freak off.
Diddy is sitting in a federal courthouse facing charges that could put him away for life, racketeering and running what prosecutors call a criminal enterprise disguised as a music empire. The evidence is staggering. FBI raids uncovered AR-15 parts with scratched serial numbers, drugs stamped with Tesla logos, dozens of bottles of baby oil and lubricant, and guns hidden in designer boots with cash stashed in hotel rooms. But it's not just the physical evidence that's damning, it's the testimonies.
Ventura, who is potentially days away from giving birth, testifying that Combs was blackout at the time of the assault from drugs and alcohol. At one point, reading a text she sent him after the violent attack. "I am not a rag doll. I am someone's child."
Cassie Ventura spent 4 days on the witness stand, describing years of abuse. Freak-off parties that lasted for days, being forced to perform while Diddy watched and filmed everything, and threats of blackmail if she ever tried to leave. Male escorts testified about being paid to participate in these orchestrated performances. Security guards described covering up assaults, Viagra, ecstasy, pills with Barack Obama's face on them. And through it all, one thing becomes clear. Diddy didn't operate alone. He had connections, relationships, a network of people who either participated, enabled, or stayed silent. Which brings us to Will Smith.
I did 2 shows in San Diego.
How was that?
It was flames, man. Just to really, we did the full unplug, strip down. You know how when I do a show, I got pyro and stuff flying around.
So you had
room.
a pyro there?
No, it was none of that. It was stripped down. It was stripped down.
The rumors started quietly at first. Conspiracy theorists connecting dots that may or may not exist. But then things escalated. In October 2024, a news story went viral. It claimed without any evidence that Will Smith had sold his daughter Willow to Diddy. The story featured doctored images and spread like wildfire across the internet. Internet sleuths started posting lengthy videos, claiming there was leaked footage showing both Willow and her brother Jaden in compromising situations with Diddy. Some even alleged that Jada Pinkett Smith was involved in these supposed transactions. There's no evidence to support any of these claims, but that didn't stop people from digging deeper. Here's where things get complicated. Because while the viral stories about Willow and Jaden are clearly fabricated, Will Smith and Diddy do have a history. They've been connected since the late 1990s. Both released their debut singles around the same time, Diddy in 1996, Will in 1997. They've been photographed together at events spanning decades. In 2004, Smith attended one of Diddy's notorious Miami parties, the kind that were known for their opulence and controversy. The kind where, according to reports, food was served off the chest of a naked woman while celebrities like Diana Ross, Bruce Willis, and Owen Wilson looked on.
Damning photos have been unearthed of Diddy eating off of a woman at a debauched party, attended by Will Smith and Owen Wilson. The disgraced hip-hop mogul was spotted amongst a star-studded lineup of guests, including Will Smith, Owen Wilson, Diana Ross, and Bruce Willis, in a new set of incriminating photos from 2004, allegedly taken out of his debauched parties in his Miami mansion.
After the 2022 Oscars slap incident, Diddy was one of the first to publicly defend Will. "Will and Chris, we're going to solve that like family at the gold party," he said during a televised segment. And in a 2023 interview on Jimmy Kimmel Live, when asked about rumors involving Will, Jada, and Jennifer Lopez, Diddy played it off with a laugh. But now, with everything we're learning about Diddy's alleged activities, people are looking at these old interactions differently. Then came Gene Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard, who appeared on the Art of Dialogue podcast and dropped what could be the most explosive allegation yet. Gene claimed that there's tape circulating in Hollywood, a tape featuring Diddy and an A-list male celebrity. And according to Deal's sources, multiple people are trying to sell this footage to media outlets. The mystery celebrity is reportedly horrified that the tape exists and is being shopped around. When asked who he thought might be on the tape, Deal didn't hesitate.
I would wonder if he's white or black. And if I'm looking at any black guys that are A-listers that's bigger than Diddy, there's only one that I could come up with. And there's a few I could come up with. Will Smith, he's bigger than Diddy. I would think Nick Cannon is bigger than Diddy. Who else on the black that are black actors or black in the business that's an A-lister that's bigger than Diddy, that's black?
He also mentioned other possibilities: Ashton Kutcher, Leonardo DiCaprio. But when it came to someone who was both bigger than Diddy and fit the description his sources provided, Will Smith was at the top of his list. Deal also expressed hope that if the person was young and white, it wasn't Justin Bieber. The speculation had reached a boiling point.
If he's bigger than Diddy, and he's not none of the names that I said, probably so. But then they say he was young too.
Yeah, they say he was young.
Let me get his name right. I hope it ain't the Bieber. I hope it's not the Bieber.
That's a good one. It might be him. But if they saying that the guy is young and he's an A-lister, I can't think of that many black people, man.
Right. Not at all. And somebody that's more powerful, more of a celebrity than Diddy. You understand what I'm saying? If they were saying somebody that was more celebrity than Diddy, he was an A-lister, he was younger. You know what I'm saying? And if he's not black.
Will Smith took the stage at one of his shows and addressed the rumors head on.
I don't have to do with Puffy, so y'all can stop all them memes.
He was emphatic, almost desperate.
Stop all of that. I ain't been nowhere near no damn freak off. Listen, I do enough of my own. Don't be putting me in other people's. I ain't been nowhere near that, man. I ain't did none of that stupid. So, whenever y'all hear it, if somebody say that, it's a damn lie. I don't even like baby oil.
But here's the thing about public denials in the social media age: they often have the opposite effect. Instead of shutting down the speculation, Will's emotional response only fueled more questions. Why was he so defensive? Why did he feel the need to address rumors that, according to him, had no basis in reality? Because the internet never forgets. Within hours of Will's denial, old photos and interviews started resurfacing. Images of him and Diddy at parties, clips of them joking around during interviews. Moments that seemed innocent at the time, but now carried a different weight. People started analyzing body language, scrutinizing facial expressions, looking for hidden meanings in casual conversations. And then there were the other stories. Just when things couldn't get messier, Will's former assistant, known as Brother Bilal, came forward with his own bombshell. He claimed he had witnessed Will in an intimate moment with actor Dwayne Martin. According to Bilal, he walked in on the two men in a compromising position. Whether you believe his account or not, the story exploded across social media. It added another layer to the growing narrative about Will's private life. Then, Jaguar Wright entered the conversation. The singer and activist, known for her explosive allegations about the music industry, didn't hold back when discussing Will Smith.
It reaches the ears of Will Smith and he needs to get at least, if there's smoke, there's fire, let me grab a fan.
Number one, As far as Will Smith is concerned, until he does right by all of those children that were harmed and corrupted while in his care, children that grew up to be men, boys like Bashir Gray, August Alsina, your own son. Like, your own son.
She was referring to Jaden Smith, whose behavior and public statements have raised eyebrows over the years. Wright also mentioned other young men who had been close to the Smith family, suggesting a pattern of inappropriate relationships or influences. Here's what makes all of this so unsettling. It's not just about Will Smith, it's about a pattern that keeps emerging throughout the Diddy case. Powerful men in Hollywood create environments where young people, especially young men, are put in vulnerable positions. We've seen it with Diddy's alleged freak-offs. We've heard testimony about male escorts being paid to perform while being filmed. We've learned about parties where boundaries were crossed and silence was bought. And now, people are asking, was Will Smith part of this world? The most disturbing aspect of the rumors involves Will's children. Jaden and Willow Smith have both exhibited behavior that some observers have found concerning. Jaden's gender-fluid fashion choices and public statements about relationships. Willow's early maturity, and some of her more provocative social media posts.
Like, how can I structure the way that I approach relationships with that in mind?
Yeah.
Also, doing research into polyamory, the main reasons why monogamous relationships, or why marriage, why divorces happen, is infidelity.
Yeah.
Let's say you haven't always been the kind of person that wanted to have sex all the time, but your partner is.
Right.
Are you gonna be the person to say, you know, just because I don't have these needs, you can't have them either?
While there's nothing inherently wrong with children expressing themselves, some wonder if their upbringing exposed them to adult concepts too early. The fake story about Willow being sold to Diddy may be fabricated, but it tapped into existing concerns about how celebrity children are raised and protected. Let's be clear about what we actually know. Will Smith and Diddy have been friends for decades. They've attended parties together. They've supported each other publicly. Will has denied any involvement in Diddy's alleged criminal activities. But here's what we can't ignore. Diddy's circle included many powerful people who either participated in or turned a blind eye to alleged abuse. The culture of silence in Hollywood is real. And when someone builds their reputation on being the nice guy, it sometimes makes their falls from grace even more shocking. So where does this leave us? Will Smith continues to maintain his innocence and distance from Diddy's alleged crimes. But the questions persist. Why was he so defensive in his public denial? What really happened at those Miami parties in 2004? How well did he know about Diddy's alleged activities? And perhaps most importantly, if the rumors about a sex tape are true, and if it does feature Will Smith, what would that mean for his career, his family, and his legacy? For now, all we can do is wait. The Diddy trial continues. More witnesses will testify. More evidence will be presented. And if Gene Deal's sources are correct, more tapes might surface. Will Smith's name may never be formally connected to the criminal case. The allegations against him might remain nothing more than internet conspiracy theories and industry gossip. But in the court of public opinion, the damage is already done. Because once your name gets linked to a scandal like this, fair or not, the stain never fully washes away. And in Hollywood, reputation is everything.